keep in mind, the list is fluid.
After this, your list is straight trash.
That's just me. List is fluid.
They're not even nowhere on the list.
You cannot tell me this is the 5th best team in the NFL.
Probably the best 5 teams cooking right now.
No!
Stephen A's right.
No,
Stop that.
no,
You can't do that.
No chance
The
right
list
there.
is fluid.
I like it, me personally.
It's fluid, okay?
Come on, man.
You killed me 3 weeks ago.
You said it's fluid. It's week to week.
Remember, the list is fluid.
How in God's name do you think that they are a top 5 football team?
I have
put
no
New England
problem
on
with
the
my
list.
top 4. The list is fluid.
No.
Stevens, A-list. The list
So
is
bad.
fluid.
So bad.
Yeah. You know what time it is? It's week 11. It's over and done with. My top 5 teams in the National Football League. Keep in mind, here's the deal. The list is fluid. It's fluid. Just because you see this week doesn't mean it's going to look that way next week. Stay with me, all right? Let's get to number 5 on the list, please. Give it to me right now here. Give it to me right now. The San Francisco 49ers. Why? They got a top 5 defense, y'all. They got a bunch of rough riders. You got Debo and Kittle, and now the pickup of Christian McCaffrey. I know porn star Jimmy can derail their hopes and aspirations, but until he does, the fact of the matter is they're a top 5 team in the National Football League right now, led by a great coach in Kyle Shanahan, who's great any other time than a fourth quarter of Super Bowls, okay? I'm going with San Francisco as number 5 on the list. Let's go to number 4 on the list, please. Give it to me right now. Bam! The Buffalo Bills. Why? It's still that dude, Josh Allen. It's still that dude, Stephon Diggs. They're still one of the top 5 teams in the National Football League. I know they were struggling a couple of weeks ago, but the bottom line is they steered the ship in the right direction. They're a top 4 team in the National Football League. They ain't top 3, though. Give it to me right here. Bam! The Philadelphia Eagles. Why? They only got 1 loss on the season, that's why. Their defense is real, that's why. And Dominican Sue being added to that defense is something that I applaud. That's why. They have struggled, however, over the last couple of weeks. Against the Commanders, Washington, on Monday Night Football, and barely squeaking out a victory against the Indianapolis Colts led by Jeff Saturday. They still only got 1 loss. I still got them winning the NFC East, but the bottom line is, for the moment, over the last few weeks, they haven't looked like a top 2 team in the National Football League. I gotta go here with number 2. Give it to me. The Dallas Cowboys. Why? Because when you take the best team supposedly in the Minnesota Vikings and you humble them and beat them down and bum rush them and punk them and embarrass them on national television and trollop them 40-3, that's a big damn deal. Okay, they should have won the game against Green Bay. I don't know how they wet the bed a couple of weeks ago, over a week ago, but they made amends for it with what they did on the road in Minnesota with your backup running back, okay, with CeeDee Lamb elevating, okay, with Schultz and Noah Brown and Gallup and these brothers, and that defense led by Micah Parsons. I had to put them at number 2 for now, but remember, the list is fluid. Number 1, no. Here's where we gonna go. Give it to me. It is this dude, the Kansas City Chiefs, because of Patrick Mahomes. He is the leading candidate to win league MVP honors. My brother from another mother, the one and only Travis Kelce, the best tight end in football. And by the way, one of the elite decision makers in football. Figure that out and you'll know what I'm talking about. That's Travis Kelce, that dude right there. Okay, with Patrick Mahomes, with Andy Reid, and them brothers having a better defense now, with Patrick Mahomes constantly being in position, the defense only got to keep you in the game. Patrick Mahomes will find a way to deliver the goods. I got to go with that. I understand honorable mentions like Tennessee and others could be mentioned, but damn it, they ain't my top 5. I got Kansas City, I got Dallas, I got Philly, I got Buffalo, and I got the San Francisco 49ers as my top 5 teams in the National Football League. There you go. Floor is y'all.
Yeah, you got the first 3 right. The first 3 is right. Number 4 is not right, man. Okay? I would move the 49ers up to 4. I put Miami at 5. All this Miami hype that was going on First Take over the last couple weeks, now all of a sudden Miami ain't nowhere to be found. But I guess you're going to tell me it's fluid. Didn't Miami beat Buffalo, Mina? Didn't Miami beat Buffalo?
Yes,
and didn't Minnesota take care of Buffalo in Buffalo? And Buffalo just struggled to get past Cleveland. But I guess that's because they had to go to Detroit. Come on, man, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Well,
the weather,
I mean,
the weather in Detroit and the neutral site, that has something to do with it. But you might have me there.
God, stop.
I will admit, you might have me there for Miami. I might have slipped on that one. I give it to you. But I'm proud of 1, 2, 3, and 5. Mina, the floor is yours.
I really like your list, and I think with the Bills, Keyshawn's leaving out something important, which is you're recognizing the underlying qualities of this team. In their losses, they were missing almost their entire secondary in many of these games. They're getting healthy. Hopefully they get Tre'Davious White back at some point. Jordan Poyer came back. We do need Josh Allen to continue what we saw, which is cutting down on those red zone interceptions, but they are still one of the best teams in the NFL. I think Miami is the sleeping giant in this league because of their offense. The defense looked better last week, but I want to see more continued good performance against them. And after next week against the Texans, they have a really tough slate of games. I want to see how they play because they have the potential to skyrocket up this list.
Coach.
Pretty good list. I know it's fluid. The order, I don't like the order so much, though.
What?
I think this is the order for me. It's the Chiefs. It's the Fly, Eagles, Fly. It's the Bills, the Cowboys, and then the 49ers. And Miami, to me, I want to see the Miami Dolphins play in the cold. I want to see them play in the cold. I want to see them play in the cold at the end of the day. All right? That's the litmus test for me. Can they play in the cold? Does that thing travel in bad weather? I think they're an upcoming team. I think they're good. And remember this one, Stephen A. There's another team just kind of sitting out there. They're getting well. Nobody's saying a lot about them. Watch out for the Cincinnati Bengals. They're getting well.
Watch out for them. The list is fluid. The list is
They're
fluid.
getting
So
well.
we can watch out for them.
Cincinnati
The list is
Bengals.
fluid. The list is fluid, Coach. We can watch out for them. And I'm glad y'all piggybacked on the Miami stuff. I take back what I said to you, Key. I was right to leave the Bills at number 4, okay? Because we want to see Miami in the cold weather. So forget all of that, okay? Coach, I'm sorry. I can't put the Eagles above the Cowboys with how I've seen the Eagles look over the last 2 weeks. Now, they'll beat the Cowboys when the playoffs come, but right now, I will put the Cowboys above the Eagles just for this week. The list is fluid. The list is fluid.
Okay, can I get the grades real quick? Keyshawn, you're up first. What are you giving him?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a B+ because he doesn't have Miami in there.
Okay.
I understand what Mina's saying about the injuries, but that doesn't matter. You play with who's on the field, period.
Mina?
It's an A- for me. I think this is a pretty good list.
Herm?
I agree. I think the order of it can change, but I like the list. I know you guys are beating up Jimmy Garoppolo. You guys always want to beat up the quarterbacks. Right. Jimmy Garoppolo's going to be fine.
Right.
Don't beat him up. He's going to be fine.
I'm afraid to ask this.
At some point, like they did last year, but those moments against the Los Angeles Chargers, when you got to go and have it, and you able to deliver like we've seen him do so many times, that'll be the difference in his MVP trophy this year.
Right now, he is the clear favorite. Neek, if I said the Dolphins are the biggest threat to Kansas City in the AFC, you believe it or not?
I'm going to say I still stick with the Bills. I know right now the Dolphins are probably playing better than the Bills at this particular moment, but it's a long season, and we see the way teams change and teams having playoff experience. We've seen the Bills play really well in Kansas City. Dolphins certainly are capable of doing it, but if there is one team to look at, it's the Bills to me.
All right, so that's the top of the AFC. If I were to say to you, Mike T, the top of the NFC, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. You believe it or not?
I don't believe it. I think they'll be home watching the Super Bowl like we are when the Dallas Cowboys are playing in it.
You think the Cowboys better? You have stayed on that all season long. I will give Tannenbaum credit. In the preseason, when the whole world flipped over to Philadelphia, you stayed on the Dallas bandwagon. And do you know who else has remained loyal to all of that? And this perhaps should not come as a surprise. A fellow by the name of the playmaker, Michael Irvin, yesterday on First Take.
No doubt in my mind that team that I saw said we are the best team in the National Football League. We ain't got to talk about how y'all went all after Dak last week. Everybody went after Dak. Dak got to stand up and show he a man. He has to lead the team right now. He has to show he can beat this team. And you said it because you had no faith that he could do it. But Dak has always been a great overcomer, and he's always over-delivered. It's one thing to be an overcomer. That means you get over things. But when you overcome and over-deliver, that's a whole nother statement.
Okay.
It's a new great part either time.
They're in the next studio. Michael hasn't stopped.
Good.
Yeah. Marcus, but I'm going to give you one on that before I get to the top of the NFC, because I had a lot of Dak slander on this set last week from a lot of different places.
Oh, my God.
I want the same energy today on how well Dak played. Your thoughts, Swagoo?
It was phenomenal, G. And last week I had to pull my sword and shield out and protect Rain Dakota from it being his fault and being the weak link on the Dallas Cowboy team. Listen, man, this is what it really boils down to. That type of football from Dak Prescott, but as a team in totality, is why the Dallas Cowboys will have an opportunity when they get in the playoffs to win a game and try to advance and go further. There is no mistake about it. Like, the Dallas Cowboys are a running football team. That is what they do to unlock everything else they do from an offensive standpoint. But when Ford is on point like he was against Minnesota, when he's using his legs like he looked hesitant to do